Let's start this out with old school, what is it, Samir Banut. I don't know how they got that so flat, though. Well, that's kind of it. We'll start the show off like that. Hi, guys. Hey, while you're here, do this. I got 3 folds for you guys. First one is this. First one has to do with when you're exercising now. Do you go into the gym and just do, I guess you'd call it isolation exercises? Very double pulley, single arm movements. Great contraction, but probably extremely light or moderately light, where you're just kind of squeezing and rotating. I saw a lot of that today, and it just got me to thinking that there may be a lack of understanding that you still want to go into the gym and stress it, right? With this new age pulleys. Be great next week we throw some of those up, or you guys can just pull this clip and add some of those exercises to this clip and throw it up there. But I saw a couple people they were overweight, and they were doing single arm rows, single arm, one arm rows on a cable machine, obviously, but it was a double cable machine. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, do they think because they're doing this is going to get them down and trimmed down and in shape? And it just got me to thinking about, like, we talked about Pilates today and how intense that looks and the stress to the body. And if you're not a very flexible person or haven't done yoga in a while, how much stress that is to the body, even though it sounds somewhat easy. It's a pretty tough workout. Relative to what I was seeing today, it's very relaxed people just doing this. And I was worried that you guys are getting carried away with those isolation movements, and you're thinking those are going to give you the same benefit to the body as a compound movement or just the basic exercises. Tell me if you guys are doing that. If you're going to the gym and you're just doing tricep push downs, then you find a machine to do little tricep extensions, and then you do tricep kickbacks. All right. Is that like a go-to tricep workout? Is your first move always a cable push down, and you consider it your first exercise, but you also consider it your warm-up? Same thing for, anything. You go in and you're doing a chest exercise, and you find some kind of hammer machine, and you just do kind of hammers to warm it up and do your first exercise. Then you find a couple fly machines, cable crossovers, and then that's your full chest workout. Let me know as the day goes on here. I pushed the thing so far back, I cannot read those comments.
I think it's comfort, too, which gets in the way. And a lot of people run to those exercises because they're comfortable. They're easy. They're not intimidating.
Let me ask you a question then. Did those 2 people that were doing the seated row look like they wanted easy? I think that's why it struck me.
Yeah. They look like...
To me, they looked like they were serious. They wanted to do this. They're in the gym. It was pretty early,
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, we are focused. We got the equipment. We got the outfits. We got the straps. We got the belts on. I really want to get in shape. And then they're doing this. And I'm like, wow, these 2 could get in good shape if they just stay with some basic exercises. Use 2 hands. Do some little bit more weight on there and get some motion in there.
How many people do you know that want to get in shape but don't want to do the required things to get in shape?
Yeah, I guess that's why I'm asking, guys. I'm asking if the concept is, if you didn't understand so far, is the concept that you guys are going in there because you see all these isolation movements online. And the other thing, I love that Lee Priest says this stuff, but
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just calling it up. You're seeing, which is visually appealing, a guy or girl that's in shape, weeks away from a show, doing an isolation movement and you see all the fibers in the muscle move. So your instant thought,
Mhm.
whoa, that really works. That's the exercise I need to do. I'm going to go do that. That's going to get me in shape.
Like we do these ones when you're like a week out, 2 weeks out.
Somebody else said that. Who did I train with? Could be Alex, Russian Alex, or Ukrainian Alex, that said, do you like doing the one-arm rows? Or I think it was somebody else that came into town. And he says,
Okay.
do you like to do it the way that C-Bum does it? I mean, he does a little rotation, he stretches the arm, he does a
can
little
see
lighter
Alex
weight,
saying
same
that.
leg, same arm stretch. And I said, well, I think that'd be a great one as you get closer to the show and you're
Right.
isolating and stuff. But I
Yeah.
bet you don't see that he does
Oh,
basic. Was it Alex?
I'm pretty sure that was him.
Again, smart guy, knows what he does, developed an incredible body,
Mm-hmm.
and then got sucked in on that.
Sucked in.
And what he was doing today.
You don't remember our fucking arm workout?
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna have him up with that shit up.
What do you got there?
Mike, big fan. Happy Thanksgiving in advance.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Hope you have a great one.
Habibi, what's your favorite back exercise?
Deadlifts?
Deadlifts.
Yeah, there's nothing. Nothing that makes my back feel thicker, rounder, denser, sore than deadlifts. Both conventional or sumo.
That's right. Is it normal to lose a little strength while cutting?
Oh, hey, Serge. Will you load up the dogs for the guy? He's here.
Oh.
Thanks.
Are they going?
Take it out the backside.
Are they going to the mountains?
No, they're gonna go for just an hour walk.
Oh.
Hi there. Welcome to the live. You are new to lifting. Yeah, you'll find out. So strength kind of goes along with calories. So the less calories you take in, you lose a little strength. The more calories you take in and the more size you're at, the stronger you get. It's a cool thing. You'll find that out as you start lifting and get in that gym for a good year or so. All the best to your journey, my friend.
I don't know, Mike. I've seen you get stronger as you cut, so not sure what's going on there.
Yeah. You guys explain that to us, would you? Let us know why that is.
Yeah, why is Mike? Why does the plates go up as Mike's body weight goes down?
So suspicious. All right. Yeah, you guys will find that, right? I think that's a common thing for beginners that they don't know. And I think it's also a common thing that they always kind of go into the aspect of I want to keep my strength when I diet.
Right.
Yeah, it's all right.
But I also think the ignorant bliss, the opposite of that happens when people are told constantly you're going to lose strength when you're cutting, you're going to lose strength when you're cutting. And not in the sense that you just said it, but they hear that
Over and over again.
and then they say, oh, okay, I'm cutting. I'm going to get weaker. I'm just going to go lighter now. I'm just going to do higher reps. Well, yeah, well, in that situation, no shit, you're going to get fucking weaker. You didn't even attempt to hold on to what you had and turn your 600-pound deadlift into, oh no, boo-hoo, a 550 deadlift. That's great. You can do that.
Send John the invite. Hey,
Rolling.
so there's a couple things Jeff said there. We'll dive a little deeper into this. Is that try, and I guess that's how the show started. Try not to take somebody's point of view on something, and then that is it. That's verbatim. That's how it works. You're okay to not believe that or not make that a guide for you, a law, a mental block for you.
That's what it would be, a mental block.
Yeah, don't always shut yourself down. That's probably one of the biggest things I see is like everybody shuts themselves down because they hear something and they hear it from somebody that's really articulate and says something, and they're like, oh, when you diet down, no matter what, you lose strength. Well, some do, some don't. Some have great days, some don't. And also, it goes the other way. Just because you have a surplus of calories doesn't mean you just get stronger. You have, again, good days and bad days. Some days you're really strong and some days you're not. Well, that doesn't make sense. I'm taking in a surplus. It's just how it is, folks. That's the beautifulness of health and fitness. It's a continuously learning and stressful, fun thing that we never truly make perfect. But I think that's the cool thing about it. We get to keep creating the art piece. I see this. Let me see what we got here. Go for that. That wasn't it. Boom. There you go.
Booyah, Mike. I'm 50, just started with the weights, but I can't put muscle on my legs. Please help.
All right, my friend. Get on over there. Get in the Titan crew. We'll get you going. Welcome to the live today as well, friend.
We got people in the 70s over the take.
I love that. We got the young teens all the way up in the 70s. Technically, we have some into the 80s because we got, Frank Zane. And then Bobo looks 80. So that's a visual thing.
Bobo, you in the chat right now?
He ain't in the chat. He's taking care of Mia right now. Oh my God. So compound exercises, and feel free to get back to us. Yeah.
What's your advice for me? Fasting 16/8. What does that mean? You don't eat for 16 hours, and then
he eats for 8.
You eat for 8 hours, I'm guessing. Anyways, fasting 16/8, 2 days a week workout, rock climbing, no heavy weights, trying to stay between 175 and 185 at 6. Whatever that means. 2.
6 foot?
Okay, there you go. 6. Yeah, 6 foot.
Well, that's a great question. It really is a good question. And you don't need to give that question right for this. We're going to do a little alley-oop. As soon as my boy gets in the game, like Michael Jordan would say, give me the ball.
I'm ready, Coach. Put me in.
Rock and roll. Here's your first question of the day, my friend.
All right. What is your advice for me? Fasting 6/8, 2 days a week, workout, rock climbing, no heavy weights, trying to stay between 175 and 185 pounds at 6 foot. All right. You're trying to stay there.
6'2".
That's where you're at, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
41 years old.
41 years old. Okay. So one, I want to make sure that, all right, is everything dialed in? Have you had a blood test at 40 years old? We definitely want to make sure hormones are all good because, at 30, it's going to start declining for some people and drastically for others. So at that point, want to make sure that that's good because that will definitely help the body stay in line, stay optimal in some of these areas. And obviously, if you're rock climbing, this is going to be good too as well. Now, the fasting portion, fasting can be really, really good for people. But abusing fasting, I think, is where it gets out of sight, where people are fasting all the time, every day, all day, and not for the right reasons either. So at that point, they think that they're going to get weight loss by cutting out all the carbs, staying all carbs forever. And at that point, that could turn around. But the fasting is good. Working out, I would say working out, rock climbing, but no heavy weights. So are you advancing and progressing in the weight at all? Because I'm not talking about heavy weights, but if you're doing 2.5 pounds every day, you want to progress to a little bit higher, I would think, depending on what you're doing. Am I right or wrong? That would be my advice. I mean, at that point, make sure your levels are checked, right? If you really want to dial it in, make sure the hormones are good. And if they are, still, there's other things you could do to help maintain this body weight or get better. Because the whole point would be to get better, right? Not to stay the same. So getting more lean body mass would be the best thing for you. especially at 41 years old. You can still develop some good tissue at 41. So, I mean, the more lean mass you have, the more fat you're going to burn. And honestly, it's going to set you up better for, in those elder years, because that's when you'll start diminishing the most if your hormones are optimized at that point. So it really is dealing with inside first, making sure that's good, and then working on progressing the outside too as well. And that would be to put on lean body tissue, and that doesn't mean like you're going to be bulking for like 20 or 30 pounds, but some good tissue throughout the year. 2 to 5 pounds, man, you're doing good at that point if you can do that, right? Really good tissue, not fat, not water, but good lean body mass. And that would be my recommendation. I mean, I would definitely increase in some of these areas. I mean, no heavy weights. Heavy can be defined by a different person to what it is, right? Mike might think 400 or 500 pounds is heavy. I might think 275 pounds is heavy. You might think 100 pounds is heavy. So, it's really dealing with what your body weight is, what you're doing right now. Because if you don't have any disabilities too as well, like, why are you just trying to stay between this point? Like, why does it have to be, a body pound goal instead of the way that you look and the way that you feel and, the strength that you have? So I wouldn't cap it out at one level, I guess, right? Because especially 6'2", I'm 6 foot, and I stay between 205 and 210 right now. And it's not like I look like I'm not jacked like that, like, right? But, I think I'm like and I think that everybody's going for the Brad Pitt Fight Club look now. I think that's the goal for everybody that's out there. The big monster look, that's only for a certain crowd. I think that at that point, like, everybody wants that model GQ look. And at 6'2", you could definitely carry 200 pounds very simply and very easily and look great doing it. I think at 175 pounds is too thin, to be honest with you, at 6'2".
John, you made a statement in your answer. You said you were talking about his Jimmy Goldberg do this and do that. You want to set him up for his elder years. And I think that is such a small statement that can get overlooked by a lot of people, because a lot of people, I think, maybe aren't concerned with 10 years down the line, 12, 15, 20 years down the line. Maybe they're concerned with this week or next month, short-term goal. But what you guys are doing at Technical is really helping people accomplish their short-term goals while heading in the right direction towards the long-term goal. That's really going to help them the rest of their lives.
Right. Those short-term goals add up to long-term results. That's just what it is. You got to win the battles to win the war. So, that's what I would say any day. I would say, listen, now is what you want to get to, but at that point you want to look on later down the road. And if you're doing these right things now, like, that's just going to add up to later. Like, it's not like you're going to have to plan for it. Do the right things now, and later on they'll be there for you. If you do the wrong things, like, if somebody's like just totally non-active, at that point, they're not going to do themselves any good. So, I mean, if you're staying at the exact same thing, you're being stagnant and you're dying. If you did that, Chris, NYC hot dog stance, right? If your hot dog stance stayed stagnant every year, you'd be dying in your business. Same way with your body. You want to keep progressing in business, and you want to keep progressing your body and what it is in your health goals. That's what it should be. Just staying stagnant or like, I just want to maintain this exact weight and this exact look. Like, you can maintain the look and probably the weight, but at that point, like, don't you want to increase your strength? Because at that point, you could probably increase your strength or do some other things. I don't know, but increase some sort of performance aspect.
I think, Johnny, you crushed that, my friend.
Thanks. Coming in, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
The guy said he does dumbbells 40 pounds and 25 pounds when really tired, not looking to bulk, get hurt with heavy weights. So that's what I'm saying. It's not in.
Is this the same guy that you just read?
Same guy. I'm reading on the side. And that's what I'm saying. Like, Mike preaches this all day. Like, hey, listen, go slow and steady, right? And at that point, make sure your connective tissues are good. But
what is 5'11"s?
I mean, I don't know.
6'2", 175. Okay.
I think that's a difficulty.
The difficulty of the lifting, the climbing.
Rock climbing difficulty.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, rock climbing alone, dude, this is great for strength, great for hamstring. I mean, if you've tried to rock climb before, like, dude, I love this stuff. I used to do this with Peter all the time when he was young. Like, you know, you could do it. You could race up to the top, or they have like these gyms here where you could rock climb around. Super cool, and it's super challenging. Seriously, man, it really tests your grip. And some of the guys, you know, you could put a big, strong dude that could, you know, bench 315 pounds, whatever it is. And at that point, get up there and not be able to do jack. You get some little limb guy that's just wiry and just going through these things like crazy. I mean, I see it all the time. It's just nuts. So, I mean, that takes strength.
We see that all the time. Huh? Let me tell you about the gladiators and what we did to these little guys. We absolutely destroyed their asses. Little 160, 170 pound guys climbing up the wall. Just knowing we came behind them on a 5-second delay scared them so much. And we'd jump, we'd do double flip, we'd grab twice as fast, boom, up on them. That being said, the only thing I want you guys to read is his two comments was, his first one was that he is fasting. If you like fasting and that works for you and that helps you stay consistent, I'm proud of you. Stay with it, do your thing. I worry at just 40 that you're running away and already playing with how your body functions through the day and running away from food. That scares me. The second part is that you said heavyweight causes injuries. That's your mind approach. In no world does that work that way. Anything and everything causes injuries. Moving a couch causes injuries. So the concept of your mindset going, I hear heavyweight causes injury. You're right. You do hear that. Except that's not how it is. You just hear that from people that lifted incorrectly or had an accident. It doesn't work.
Ego lifting too.
Most people that I know that pop their chests and pop their arms and all that kind of stuff do it on warm-ups.
Yep.
When they're doing no weight. So it just, that's again, you're doing rock climbing. Let's talk about injuries. That's a wild thing. It's a great thing. So keep that attitude, keep pushing it. If the fasting works for you at 40, I just worry, and I agree with John, his statement and what Jeff brought up, is that you're thinking about now. You're only thinking about now. You're not thinking 10 years from now.
Right.
And so blood work.
Blood work for sure.
And then correlate in some kind of future plan that you're getting a foundation right now where you stay 170. I don't care. You want to stay 175, 185? That's what you want to do because that's easier for rock climbing. But I would retaining muscle as best you can, and you can stay 175 to 185 and 6'2". It's a good, I guess it's a good slim weight.
Yeah.
I worry that in the future you might want to retain some of that more dense muscle from lifting and from doing that. So that's the only thing I worry about.
Yeah, because I mean, if you do get injury or something happens down the road, God bless, you know, you get some disease, whatever. The more muscle you have, the more protection you have to a certain extent, like, you know, over time, like to eat away. So, yeah, man, that's I think it's really important for us to build as much lean muscle as possible, you know, and throughout your life, and don't stop working out or doing activity for sure.
Next one, Jeffrey.
Question is doing all your workouts at slow and controlled better for you?
Yes, I think so.
I think again, it's all do slow, controlled, go fast at times.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like we've talked about this. We just talked about size with this last guy.
Mm-hmm.
I have no agenda for you guys. If you guys want to be 150 at 6'5", and that's what you like, great. If you want to train slow and controlled, I think it's great. But just understand that all lifting speeds are beneficial and have their reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, explosion work, great thing. Going slow and controlled, great thing. Just I would not try to limit to one.
Yeah, explosive training, obviously. I mean, that's how you really build strength like that, right? I mean, you know, you're really pushing it up and then taking it slow, and then you know, as far as that going back down and then exploding up every time.
Just there's so many different ways to lift. I think they all play a part in just staying balanced.
I like to get in a rhythm. Once I'm in a rhythm, and just, you know, I'm moving, you know, I'm just moving. I'm feeling the contraction, I'm getting the road, the stretch that I need and everything. So that's what I do.
But you're also a jacked, 6'2", 15, looking abs walking around.
I'm scared my shoulder's gonna get stuck in one spot, like the Tin Man. I need some oil.
We did a couple of fun stuff this week. And speaking of fast, we were doing 20s to 30s on belt squat, just partials. But
Yeah,
before that, we were doing 10-second pauses on the squats. So again, we correlated in the same workout two different facets. And
nice.
again, it's just try everything, guys. Try everything. Everything works for a bit, then your
Mhm.
body adapts.
Yep.
Nice one, Johnny.
What advice do you have for a 14-year-old trying to get as big as you?
Eat,
Eat,
eat.
train, sleep. Eat, train, sleep. Eat, train,
You're
sleep.
14. You're gonna use. There's a couple great things. It's tough to say this to a youngster, but get your sleep, or maybe it's not. I don't. But get your sleep. Continue to grow, and just eat. You're growing so fast. I got a couple of friends that had 2 kids, and both kids they fed them and fed them and fed them, and they were very heavy. But the great thing about kids is they grow, and those calories help these kids, and they're as thin as can be. 2 years later, 3 years later. Now, I'm just speaking of a very young kids. It works through going through puberty. That's where I put on 100 pounds during puberty. So eat your food, eat healthy. Do not do this new age stuff that they call what's it called? Dirty bulk.
Oh,
Dirty bulk. I hate this.
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's not a thing, guys. It's not a thing. Just so you know, because it doesn't take that much to get your surplus of calories, and to think that you have to do milkshakes with Oreo cookies in, which sounds really good to me.
Now you're hitting. I might get on
Yeah,
that.
it sounds good, but that's not where you want to go down the road, because there's other facets to that by eating that way too. That you
For
just
sure.
I think just eat the best you can. If you're having a hamburger, have cheese on it. If you're eating some steak, have some little salsa on it. But
Yeah.
don't be so strict that it's chicken and broccoli. That's definitely not for you kids.
Mhm.
You get to be 30, 35 years old, you want to do the fish and the chicken and broccoli. That's great. You teenagers in puberty, eat your carbs, eat food. Johnny, what do you got? Because I know you have at home a metahuman that's taller than I am and barely 15 years old.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I push the exact same thing, right, that Mike is saying. And, with my son, it's kind of hard. His coaches told him at school, like, basically dirty bulk. I don't care how you get the calories, eat the calories. I'm like, dude, that is not the way to do things. I'm like, what's going to happen is, and listen, young kids can eat really bad and get away with it. But eventually it's going to catch up with them one way or the other, and they will start gaining weight. And that's why most kids these days are obese and overweight too as well. So we got to really look at eating good food. I mean, listen, eating candy all day equates to calories, but they're empty calories. There's nothing in there that's going to benefit you whatsoever. So at that point, really getting in food that's going to basically give you the nutrients you need to grow. I mean, it's like anything else. Your body needs these things, and if you're not giving it to him, it's not going to grow optimally. And that's what I tell my son all the time. And he always kicks it back in my face because he wants to eat what he wants to eat. But I'm still pushing down his throat, like, hey, listen, nutrition's key. And he's starting to come around. He's starting to eat some of the prep meals and stuff like that. But listen, it's really hard with kids. It really is. There's so many different things out there as far as distractions, and then people that, basically, if they're around all their friends and all their friends are drinking pop, eating Doritos, or whatever the hell they're eating these days, right? McDonald's, that's going to make them want to eat that. And at that point, like, if they don't, then they're going to be the odd man out. And sometimes, those kids are like, oh, why aren't you eating this? Whatever it is. So it's tough, but at that point, if you're a dedicated young adult and you want to thrive in an area of athletics, or you want to get big per se, and you want to look good being big, not a sloppy big, then at that point, you're going to do what you want to do and do what you need to do. And that would be, doing some of these right things. And I don't know, man. Like, I've seen some kids that come over my house and like I have steaks already prepped, and I'll be like, hey, Peter, you want a steak? No. When I offer those steaks to those other kids, because they don't get it offered to them all the time, oh, Mrs. Sikoris, can I have a steak? I'm like, yeah, no problem, And then afterwards, can I have another one? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So, those are kids that will do it, and like they should want to eat good food. Like, good food tastes good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, junk food, it hits their dopamine receptors. It makes them feel good for a little bit, but it doesn't really make you feel good. And that's why a lot of people feel bad about after they're eating it. So, if we can push this, if you're a young adult and you're eating good food, you're going to grow a lot better than eating junk food. Can you throw in the occasional milkshakes and stuff like that? Absolutely. Especially if you need to hit your calories. Because if you're eating chicken and broccoli all day, it's tough to get that many calories in because you got to eat a lot of meals to do it. So you got to start, you don't have to be as hard on yourself as per se me, but you should want to have discipline in what you're eating. I think that's the biggest thing. Start being disciplined. Discipline will get you to your goal. Set the goal and be disciplined, and then set an action plan of how you're going to get to the goal. And that's good eating. Good eating, good training, and sleeping. I mean, listen, and water. You want to grow. Like those are the secrets to grow. That's the secrets to growing.
He knows he has a young metahuman that's going to just fill out over these next years.
Pop protein too. I mean, that's another big one. I don't think enough kids get enough protein per day. I mean, even I was thinking about changing Peter over because the protein shakes are great, but sometimes I think he needs a meal replacement too to really want to grow, and get some of these different things. So I think that might be a good viable thing for some of you guys out there. And if you guys are on the go and all that, and you guys can't get your meals like us, then that's when you have to start looking, and then you have to start preparing. Prepare for your day. Like, you have to take a cooler to school, bring a cooler to school, and then have your stuff there, and then you can drink it down. That's a smart play. Like, man, like I can't tell you guys. That's the best thing. Like, I'm the cooler guy now. I have the cooler everywhere I go.
You don't even know about the igloo. That's what I did to school. My mom would make put all the sandwiches and milk in an igloo, and I'd eat that. That's back in the 80s, guys. That's what we were doing. He said a couple things here. The discipline of eating the meals. For all you teenagers, protein drinks are great. 100% food replacement drink. And Jeff's going to get some of these videos up we did yesterday, today. We have this Ninja Creamer thing. And it just mixes it up and makes it like a little yogurt meal. But we had a couple scoops of protein, some bananas. We had granola in it, Rice Krispie treat in there.
Nice.
So we had just a simple drink, 1,000 calories. Over 90 grams of protein. So it was just a great real pre-workout meal and a post-workout meal for us. But that's when I'm extreme calories. And so for you guys should be that way. You guys should be eating really some good food and find out what's your surplus. Where does your number need to be? And don't go off the books. If you want to start with the books and what your percentage is, man, you guys are a different breed when you're at that age. You guys are growing so much. You're growing, just so you understand, you're growing during puberty in that 14 to 17 to 18. You're growing better than any humans on the planet. That's the best ages. Because you're building muscle on top of it too. And you're really setting your frame up for your whole life.
It really is your foundation. It really is to a certain degree. I mean, when you're younger, your foundation's there, but I'm talking about like in the growth stage. Puberty at that point, like that's the best environment for your body to grow in.
Great one, Johnny. Appreciate that.
All right. What are the best lifts and way of training for a linebacker to hit harder? Explosive training, right, Mike? I mean, that would be one.
Yeah, I definitely throw in some cleans, just power cleans, hip thrusts. That not a hip thrust exercise, but use the hips on that explosion on a clean. You don't need to do as press as much, but power clean, just the snap of the hips. That's going to be your go-to. That's going to be everything that you're going to, mostly for the linebacker, so you can drop in and lay these guys out. I would stay with some split squats. I would do some walking lunges. Again, football is hips, hamstring, lower back.
Yep.
Those you need those powers. And I was just watching an old school Archuleta video about explosion and connection and the way that he trained for the combines. Think about that when you're lifting. Do the explosion lifts. Do the explosion. So they kind of release the bench press at the top. Catch, go again. Catch. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. The quick reaction, grabbing the dumbbells. So it's a completely different world. But you're a linebacker and you want to get bigger, stronger, faster. Hamstrings, glutes, lower back.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And that's really, it's all, finesse sports or skill sports, baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Still need those hips, hamstrings.
For sure. I mean, back. I mean, your core is everything, though. I think in any sport.
Not bowling. Bowling is how many beers you can drink and cigarettes you can have. But besides that,
Seen some good bowlers, man. I've seen some people just blow my socks off. Remind me of the movie Kingpin.
Red Stew. You don't know.
Yes.
You don't know. It's been too long. Go for it, Jeffrey. What do we got? Johnny, do you see something good there too? Just shout it out.
I don't see anything in this point. I mean, I can talk to you about what we got going on this week, though, real quick.
I would love a little update on.
All right.
It is Black Friday, right?
Yeah, so it's Black Wednesday. So Titan has Black Wednesday because we don't wait till Friday. We've always had Black Wednesday, and that's Titan's biggest giveaways of the year. So I'm going to go live. What do I say? 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. And at that point, I'm going to give away free blood work, at least 2 every hour every time that I go live. I'm going to give away free Titan gear, some gift certificates, maybe like $100, $200 gift certificates at a time, so people can get some blood work or add it to their account, or maybe want to become a patient. And then, I don't know. I've got some extra. I got some secret stuff I'm going to give away too as well. So, you never know. I might give away a free therapy, like an amino acid therapy or something like that, or I don't know. I just get crazy. So I'll give away a whole bunch of blood tests. So I'll give away at least 6 to 8 blood tests that day, guaranteed, maybe more. And then, like I said, a whole bunch of free Titan merch, and then gift certificates. I'll give away at least 2 every time I go live. And then, like I said, I've got some other stuff I want to give away, but I don't know. I'm trying to decide what other special things I can do.
So the main thing for everybody out there is just follow Titan Medical and look for the lives and jump in there and ask some good questions and rock and roll on this.
Yeah. And then we have our special of the week, which is our Titan Slim package. And the Titan Slim package is AOD 9604 and ECA Stack Plus. And you'll get a discount on the package of those two together. So if you're ordering those two, now you can save some money on it. If you wanted to get these things, then you can save some money on it. So either way that you win, and at that point, involving AOD, which is a weight loss peptide that's going to burn fat and help you not store fat in the body, is going to be great. And then you're going to be able to get some sort of stimulant and energy factor from the ECA Stack Plus, also creating thermogenesis to help aid in that weight loss too as well. So expediting the results for you guys all the way across the board.
John, speaking of those two, would that be something that Buddy here should look into? Because he feels like he's overweight. He's 70, and he's so young, good age. What's the recommendation here? Would it be step 1, blood work, step 2?
Yes, definitely blood work for this guy to see what's going on, because there can be some different issues going on. At 6 foot, 270 pounds. That's a little bit overweight, right? That's where we do not want to be at, unless this is just pure muscle. And even at that point, it's going to be a little bit more for your frame than you can handle. So we definitely want to get this down. So what diet nutrition plan do you recommend to become healthy again? This is eating good foods, right? And then you'd have to go to somebody like Mike where they can create a whole meal plan for you and go through this. But from my side of things, you're going to definitely want to get a blood test and see where all your hormones are at, how everything's looking on the inside. Now, after that, that's when we can personalize a regimen. And it could be anything from the Titan Slim package with AOD 9604 and ECA Stack Plus. Or if we're going for more aggressive weight loss, it could be maybe a GLP-1 like semaglutide or tirzepatide. There could be a lot of different options that we could use for this patient, but we need to know all its health history and all that too as well, just to make sure we can recommend what's right. But there is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel for you. You're very young. We can definitely get this weight off. That's a guarantee. And at that point, it's just going to take you taking the first step to be able to sign up with us and let us do our thing with you and get you to where you want to go.
I know that you said I could help them with the nutrition and the training and all that, but I agree with you, and this is a team effort here. I would to set him up on a nutrition plan, and I wouldn't want to set him up on a training plan because he's here right now, and he goes, hey, my best advice is find out what's going on with your body, and that's the blood work first. And again, Johnny's going to be giving specials out right now, so this is a great time for you to go, hey, you know what? Let me start before the new year.
Yep.
And that way, if we know your body is not functioning right, John and the team is going to help you out.
Yep.
Now, John and the team help you out and get it right. Or let's say, great news, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then what can we do on nutrition and training will be easier for me because I know your body's working correctly. Let's get you on the right plan. Let's move forward. But I still think step one for anybody in today's day and age, something I could not do when I started, is go get the inside checked. Get a tune-up. Find out what's going on. See if everything's working fine. See if you're not even just your testosterone, but everything. And I know 34 to me sounds like you just got out of puberty, right? 34 to the body, everybody talks about this. Every influencer out there says, oh, 34, that's old. Your body's shutting down. Your testosterone's gone. It's like, so I'll go off of their echo is, well, let's find out if that's true or not. And that is only done, in my opinion, through Titan Medical. And I'll say this on top of this. The reason I say only through Titan Medical is because I know some of these other companies out there and how much they try to upsell. Yeah, it's like I had a person, a young 20, absolutely nothing wrong with this kid. He came back to me and said, Mike, these people that you sent me over to did my blood work. He sent me the blood work. And they hated that I got copies of the blood work. And I understand why the company hated it, because I saw what they were doing. And it was like, the only reason you hate it is because you guys are lying to people.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why you hate me getting the blood work, because I'm going to look at this and go, why are you selling them $10,000 worth of stuff for a 28-year-old that's healthy? What are you doing?
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. It's still crazy to me.
Because he's a millionaire, we're gonna freaking load him up like this. But then it came back that other people that weren't millionaires were getting that, right?
I got hit with like the 18 grander. I was like,
whoa.
Oh, take over for a second here.
How does this happen? 18,000. How do they think people? I mean, honestly, guys, there might be some people out there can afford that, but the general, like everyday person, is not going to be able to afford $18,000, right? Even $4,000, $3,000. I mean, $1,000 is a lot of money, guys. I mean, come on. I mean, I understand it depends on how much they're getting to. So if they want, the whole buffet of everything, it's going to cost a lot of money. But
at the end of the day, you can't put a price on your health. I understand that. You got to get healthy. You're gonna have to spend money to take care of yourself. But you shouldn't be told by somebody who's in a position to tell you, "Hey, you need this."
Right. No, that's wrong.
You don't.
Yeah, that's wrong. Even for us, like, we'll go in with an HRT patient and they might talk about some other goals, right? Mm-hmm. But the main thing they need is HRT. Like if they have low testosterone, that's the main priority. So like if they go in there and like, let's say, the provider's like, well, you can benefit from a GLP-1 and maybe testosterone. And then the medical assistant goes in there and she's like, hey, listen, she's like, this is what the provider recommended, these 3 things. It's going to be maybe $2,000. Mm-hmm. And then the guy's like, sticker shocked, or he's like, I don't have $2,000 like that, right? Well, listen, this other stuff, is the little extras, right? But your main meat and potatoes, what you really need is the HRT to get fixed, and that's $350. Okay, cool. I got that, no problem. And let's go on. I
And
mean, that's how it should
big
be.
of an impact is that going to have on his life?
Huge, huge. You know,
Yes.
like that's what I'm saying. Like if you give them what they really need, like HRT, and they have low testosterone, you're going to change the game for them in so many different ways, right then and there. And they don't need all the extras right then. And honestly, it's overwhelming to a lot of people that get all that stuff at one time, unless they're a seasoned person in it, right?
Mhm.
You know, like a regular person, like they show up, and I've had them call me, like, and but hey, listen, I just got 8 vials. Like, I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed by this. Like, I don't even know if I can do this. Like, can I just send this back? And I'll get on the phone, but hey, listen, I understand. You see these vials, you see 300 syringes and needles there. This is very overwhelming. Make your head spin. Let's go through a tutorial so you get more comfortable with it and really explain how it's going to benefit you, and then utilize it, and then kind of go from there. And then that's all I really need.
Those on your social medias, on your YouTube page, you have a lot of tutorials as well.
Yeah.
Which I don't see anybody doing that. I think it's so great.
Tons. Yeah, we want to educate our patients too. We want them to know what they're taking and why they're taking it, and then we want them to be able to use it comfortably, right? Like a lot of people haven't done injections. I think now, of course, there's a lot more people who have done injections, but I mean, I would say like 5 years ago, it was like 7 out of 10 people have never done an injection before to themselves, unless they were a diabetic or such and such. So at that point, like it's a little bit intimidating for somebody, and it's kind of like a self-mutilation thing, like, oh, I don't want to hurt myself type deal. But once they do it the first time, it's nothing. And I always call them like, man, you're a survivor. Now you can do this. You're good to go. So yeah, I think that's just a little intimidation factor. But once they get through it, and the education, but these places out there, man, doing that to people is just wrong. It's wrong.
Somebody had a question here related to that. If you start on TRT, you have to stay on it forever.
Great question. I get this question. I've got this question throughout my 12 plus years in this business. John, if I stay TRT, am I going to have to do it forever? I don't want to do this forever. Or how's this going to work? So when you start TRT, you don't have to stay on it forever. Okay. But if you want to get off, there's a way to get off. And when you do get off, your levels aren't going to be where they were when you were taking testosterone. So it's going to come down because there's nothing that recharges the testicles to start producing testosterone like it used to. If we had something like that, we would not need places like me for TRT. We can just do peptides and weight loss, and we can recharge your own gonads, and you'd be ready to rock and roll. But that doesn't happen. So that's where you need to stay on TRT forever. The forever is if you want to feel like that the whole time, then you're going to stay on it. It's kind of like somebody that goes on cholesterol medication. If they can't get their cholesterol down naturally, and they need to be on the medication, and they don't take the medication, their cholesterol is going to be up, and that can have an effect. Blood pressure, whatever it is. So it's the exact same thing. So if you want to have those levels and you want to feel good like that, then you need to be on testosterone. If for some reason, let's say you get prostate cancer and you need to come off testosterone, there's a way to get off, and you're not going to feel like you did when you're on testosterone, but we can hopefully help you not crash your levels, because that's when people start feeling bad. People start feeling bad when they are on testosterone and then they just go cold turkey. You go cold turkey, your levels are going to go here to here, and you're going to feel it not only physically, but mentally too as well. So, at that point, listen, TRT is a great thing for people that need it. If you don't need it, don't start it. When you do need it, you're going to need it. And when you do need it, you're going to feel better when you take it. So that's the advice that I would say. There's no reason for you to want to get off of it unless, like I said, maybe it's a financial thing or maybe it's a health thing. But I'll tell you this much. I think, and a lot of people out there probably wouldn't agree, but our clinic, for my dad, like he was on testosterone the whole time he was on cancer treatments. And I think that saved his ass from dwindling down to nothing. So at that point, like, I think there's some big benefits to being on testosterone if you need it. And at that point, I would say, if you don't need it, don't start it, but you don't need to be on it forever. But if you want to feel like that, you're going to have to take it.
I'm on mute. Okay. Hey, Johnny, at some time, I would love to talk about cholesterol medicine and why someone should do it. And then also the concept of some people eat healthy. they train, they do all what they're supposed to do from their doctor, and they still have that high cholesterol.
Mhm.
And so just kind of, I think it'd be a
Yeah.
great future to dig into it and go, well, why do some people just naturally have that higher cholesterol reading than
I
the
think it's a
people?
good one.
Yeah, I think it's a great insight because I get so many people that check in with me going, hey, I got my blood work done.
Mhm.
I eat fish and broccoli, the fish and broccoli thing. I do my cardio and I have my healthy fats, but my numbers are still wild. So
Yeah, I mean, listen. So we got to look at both HDL and LDL, good cholesterol and bad cholesterol on that, and then you look at the ratio. I mean, some could be a little bit higher than normal, but if the ratio on the bottom end looks good, then they're probably going to be good. Now, a lot of people like they can attribute like high cholesterol to genetics, to bad diet, non-exercise, and all these different things. I think if you're doing the right things, your cholesterol should move in the right direction and start going down. I mean, obviously there's those cases out there that they say that they're doing everything right and it's not ticking down. It's not good. So, really have to dive deeper into what is really going on with that because those are case by case scenarios. And most people, I would say, that do follow the good diet, the training, usually their cholesterol does start coming down. But cholesterol medications are heavily prescribed out there, and they're easily prescribed. That's the bad thing, is that somebody goes in, and let's say they might have a skewed result, right? And that means that the lab messed up in some way, shape, or form. And it happens, guys, from time to time. And the cholesterol is high. And then, they go in front of the physician. The physician says, oh, man, your cholesterol is really, really alarming to me. And at that point, not to recheck it would be a disservice just to make sure. But what they do is they throw them on a cholesterol medication right then and there. And it goes on from there. And then they're on cholesterol medication from then on out. And they might not really needed it. And they might needed a change in their diet. Like, we don't really know exactly what they're eating. When they say good fats to you, are they really getting good fats in, or are they getting bad fats in? I mean, that's kind of where you got to start really diving in and really asking some more questions.
yeah, I'd love to dive into this. Again, I hear the negative, and so I hear the guys that are like, I do eat well, they do eat the healthy stuff, they do train, and they still come back with that high cholesterol, and they do get the double check, but they still come back with it. So want to kind of go into just family history. Some things are working that way, and so the pros and cons of doing something for cholesterol on a medication would be an interesting for a lot of people.
Yeah, cholesterol's key. We talked about that.
I just had a friend. We talked about this last week. Is 30 years old. Dies, heart attack.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking visually
stunning.
He was a model, so
yeah.
A good-looking cat, great physique, trains hard, positive lifestyle. And again, 30. That's an age we shouldn't see this stuff from to lose them. And so there's family history that goes in this stuff. I'm not saying that was over here, but I just want you guys to be able to take care of yourselves and check the blood work. And if you do visually look good and feel healthy, still check the engine, as Johnny would say. And Johnny,
definitely got to check the engine for sure, 100%. You got to make sure everything's working right on the inside for sure.
One thing that Jeff and I talked about is that your new ads.
Oh, you like it?
Dude.
One second.
I think they're gonna really poke people. I think the one especially. The one about the pants is gonna be.
Johnny,
majority of our audience is
give us. Tell us what's up, Jeff.
The pants?
You like them?
I think that was probably one of the best ads I've seen in my life. And there is no perfect time to bring back that kind of advertising than right now.
That's what I thought, man. I was like, you know what? I'm sitting there with Andreas. I'm doing these voiceovers. And I'm like, you know what? Give me that damn mic. I'm like, I'm going to start making some voiceovers that are really going to just poke people a little bit to get their attention and to get under their skin so they start making a change. Because they'll start looking at themselves and like, oh, shit, like, this is me. So I probably might get some flack about it. But 80% of our audience is male, right? So at that point, like, I'm sure some of those guys are in that position
Mm-hmm.
where the wife or girlfriend's asking them how they look in these pants or how do I look in this outfit? Does it make me look fat? And if you're a boyfriend or a husband, you better say she looks great. But in your mind, you might not be thinking that. You might be thinking, honey, you better start going to the gym with me, because you don't look like you should in that outfit, right? But you don't want to tell her that. You don't want to hurt her feelings. I'm not here to hurt people's feelings, but I'm here to change your lives. And if I have to be a little brutally honest to change your life, I'm here to do that. Like, I'll do that for you. But at that point, I think, hey, listen, call and give them a gift certificate. And at that point, they're doing something for their health, and they're going to make them look better in that outfit and pants that they want to fit in. So you guys will see the video. I think it's a little bit more. I think the in-law one was good too. I'm sure a lot of people obviously feel like that about their in-laws. I don't. I love my in-laws or in-law. But at that point, I'm sure some people are gonna definitely get some flack from it. But I think a lot of people are gonna like it, and a lot of people are gonna get some laughs. And like you said, I think it's a perfect time right now in this current environment that we're in to really put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's a good one for us.
All right. It says, hello, Mike. What do you recommend for endurance workout? And how do you incorporate it with weightlifting workouts?
Do you do anything like that, Johnny?
Yeah. I mean, for me, listen, endurance workouts, right? That means you're going to have to increase the volume, right? You're going to increase the volume in sets. So do more. What does that mean? That means that, listen, for me, what I try to do for endurance in all training is I would try to do my regular 3 sets, and I work up in the pyramid scheme as far as that goes progressively in weight. And then I'll drop down on my 4th set, and then I'll work out. I'll do it to failure basically on that set. And that would be a little bit more endurance training for me, like as far as that goes. But you got to increase volume. Like that's what it's all about. Increasing volume, increasing endurance, increasing stamina. So heavier weight, more times. That's what I would aim for, and just progressively getting heavier and heavier and heavier as much as you can do.
And Jeffrey, you got anything on that one?
I incorporate endurance work. I need to incorporate some of that. That's for sure.
He's got a girlfriend. He does that all the time.
Right.
It's just not in the gym.
Well, what did we do? Was that yesterday we squatted? That's endurance, right? It's pause squats, 10-second pause, 405 on the bar, some good weight on the bar. I think that's.
Yeah, it's a good concept. I try not to mix match. For me, I try not to mix match. I try to use weightlifting for exactly what it is, and it's to build that muscularity, the skeleton muscle, and the stress to the bones. So I try to just focus that that's what that is for. So for me, I don't incorporate any cardiovascular to my workouts. It's like if first period of class is math, I'm not trying to do English in math class. I do my workout for what it's made for. If I'm going to do endurance or like I roll a lot now, I will do that at jiu-jitsu and get the wheels rolling more there. At the end of class, I'll do a slaughter line like we did last week. It was me. As soon as I got the guy or he got me, the next guy would jump on me. Next guy, next guy, next guy. I know that sounds a little bit perverted, but that's my concept. My concept is use it for what you're supposed to do it. And so, unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend, because what happens is, and I see it in the gym all the time, is that the person tries to make the workout around the sport a little too much or past the time, and then it turns into just mileage. So
I'm surprised a lot more people aren't asking how to prepare for the holiday eating. Like, what should I be training? How much should I be training? Can I take a day off, Mike?
They should be on MK.
Yeah, MK for sure. If you're trying to grow, for sure, and especially
well,
on the
MK,
holidays.
so they're more hungry, so they can start eating in the morning and go late into the night.
Well, you never know how many places they got to go at. I say this all the time. Like when Teresa's dad was alive, we had to go to 4 places on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that. So we're eating 4 different times. So think about that. And if you didn't eat at these places' house, Jesus, you get slapped by the side of the head, man, right? So what are you going to do to prepare for that? And then if you're overweight and obese and you're not like us in shape or whatever it may be, how are you going to combat this overeating during the holidays? And that should be really what you're looking at doing. And if you're really looking at doing something like this, I would portion size your meals of wherever you're going to go. So if it's one place, still have a portion of what you're going to eat. You can indulge a little bit, and then increasing activity, maybe increasing the day beforehand, and then increasing the day after, and what you usually do. So if you just weight lift for 30 minutes, I would definitely weight lift, do some cardio. I mean, weight lift for 45 minutes, do 15 minutes of cardio. At that point, try to burn some of those calories off that you've taken in, depending on how much you ate too, as well. I mean, that's a big thing.
What's your go-to? Because I know that you're always on point. Are you going to have a couple big meals that day, little cheat meals, maybe the special cookies, anything like that?
Yeah, I'll probably be eating some cookies for sure. I'm a cookie guy. I wanted some cookies, but
Those cookies
my
are
go-to,
really good.
yeah, hell yeah, they are. I mean, I feed for those cookies, but at that point, I would eat like white turkey meat. I'll eat a lot of white turkey meat, and at that point, like I think I'll eat some mashed potatoes, and that's really it. Or maybe some ham. I think that might be a little fattier, but that's my go-to for any holiday. It's like ham, turkey, mashed potatoes. If there's corn on the cob, there's no nutritional factor there, only roughage, but I'll eat some corn on the cob because
you don't stress.
I like corn.
You don't stress about going in town and eating, and you don't stress about it.
Well, this is how I look at it, right?
So you have a good relationship, right?
Yeah, if we're eating like like holiday food, like turkey, ham, and all this, you're eating. You might be overeating, right? But you're not eating like, let's say, McDonald's. So it's better food. It's a better food source in most cases, depending on where you got it.
Why does Johnny always pick on McDonald's? Why is he picking on Trump's place? Come on now.
Listen, I love McDonald's, right? I grew up on McDonald's, but do I think McDonald's is the healthiest thing for somebody to eat? Hell no. Do I think that people can reward themselves by eating McDonald's once in a great while? Yes. Will I do it? Probably not. Right? That's just me. But if you want to do it, that's cool. Listen, I'm all for them. Backing Trump, him doing it there. I'm all like, and you know what would be the best thing is that they do make the changes. RFK does, because if you eat McDonald's over in Greece, Mike, it's way different than you eat McDonald's here. Ingredients, chemicals in there. I mean, it's
My
different.
boy's gonna change this world.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Like it's a breath of fresh air that these things, someone will be looking to protect us in what we're eating, because everybody assumes that everything in the grocery store is safe to eat. And we don't know that. We don't know the long-term damage that some of these things are going to do to our body or our health. So at that point, I think it's going to be a good thing. Somebody needs to regulate these things. I think it's
one of my guys that I follow, great guy, and he's always at these hearings. And one of his hearings, they were asking him about the information about food. And he's talking about there's actually a health food section at the grocery store. So if there's a health food section at the grocery store, what does that make the rest of the grocery store? And it's like, dude, you just the whole panel's up there going, you got us.
Yeah.
So I think I think you have a great relationship, and I want everybody here to know, I think it's okay to have that high day in celebration, and just try to get this year as we continue forward. Let's make a better relationship with food, and it doesn't mean go from what you're doing to not eating. It just means pull it back a little bit. Let's have a little bit more. Hey, Sundays for fun. During the week, let me be a little disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of discipline, here's something that I think is great. We got a guy that played a long time football, lifted heavy, has little tweaks here and there like all of us do. But I love what he did. He still came back in, hit a decent weight, probably not for him, but just deep and paused. I think that's a great job here, my friends. And I want the rest of the world to see this. He's still moving. And that's all that's all I preach about. Is just continue to move.
Yep. It's key. If you stay stagnant, it's just like a car. It'll just break down on you. It won't move. Like that point is stay active, keep moving.
Well, you're the perfect example of this. You're this baseball guy, and you did it. Yeah. And now you got these shoulders that are less
destroyed
than prime, but you still move through to force blood.
Yes. Yeah, you got to, man. I mean, I like I said,
I know you say
something
got
I
to,
like to
but
do.
you can't just say got to. You're a different breed. How do you get these guys to go? I'm going to be like John. I'm going to listen to John. John's still
Yeah,
moving, and he's out
yeah.
there kind of banged up. Let me keep doing that. What do you tell these people?
I tell them, listen, I mean, there's different things that can possibly help you get through some of these things that you have acute or chronic injury wise, like healing peptides. And that's what I utilize. I utilize BPC 157, but you got to stay active and you got to keep moving. If you don't, man, you're not going to lose, you're going to lose mobility, you lose strength, you lose mass. I mean, atrophy in those arms or areas or whatever is going wrong, right? Like, if it's in your back or your neck, you can lose atrophy and have it hold down your arm or your side. They've seen all different types of things. So I think it's really important to, one, keep the mobility, two, to keep the strength up, and keep moving. Like I said, and BBC 157 and TB 500 have helped me tremendously. I need a total shoulder replacement on this arm. And I don't know what's going on with this one, with a slap tear or what, but I'm still not feeling good. But I'm still in there. Like even this week, like I can still push dumbbells. I'm pushing 100-pound dumbbells, I think, incline and flat. So that for me, I'm doing good. Do I want to do higher? Yes.
This is a great question for you, Johnny.
All right. Hello, Mike. I've noticed that my body has been getting weaker as I'm trying to get leaner as I want to shed some more fat. What would you suggest I do to get my energy back up? Well, one, how old are you? I would definitely get a blood test, possibly see what's going on there. Maybe some different things are off. Two, if everything's right on point, then we could definitely get some energy back up with some ECA Stack Plus or some other therapies that we have that could definitely rev some things up, give you the energy that you need. But if you're getting weaker and as you're getting leaner, are you're decreasing your calories? Are you decreasing too much? I don't know. So at that point, that's another question we have to find out.
What's the ECA Stack Plus?
Sorry, I should explain that. It's ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin.
Come on.
Sorry. Everybody knows ECA. Sorry, guys. Ephedrine, caffeine, aspirin, B12, and chromium. ECA, and then the plus is the chromium and the chromium and the aspirin. Excuse me, not the chromium. The chromium and the B12. Jesus. But what these things are going to do. So at that point, caffeine and the ephedrine are going to be both stimulants. They're going to create thermogenesis. They're going to give you energy, high mental clarity. And you have aspirin in there. And if you're allergic to aspirin, we can take it out. But we have it in there to thin the blood a little bit for no heart palpitations or issues. When you're on ECA, it shouldn't be like taking a pre-workout where you go, and you're like itching and like you shouldn't be tweaked out. You should have nice, clean, full energy. You're stimulated, but you're not shaken. Your hands aren't clammy. And I think everybody knows that effect. Your stomach's growling. You have to go to the bathroom in the gym, taking a pre-workout. So at that point, that ECA Stack Plus would do tremendous things as far as energy and help with weight loss too as well.
I'll just add in there. I would listen to what Johnny says about the options to keep you moving, keep going. You're stating two things from what I understand. I'm reading here. You're saying that you're getting weaker, but then at the bottom you say, how can I get my energy back up? So are you getting weaker and less energy? Because that's just a deficit and you're training hard, and that's basically what happens. So I wouldn't stress that that's how you're feeling. I would listen to Johnny to get the EAAs and get this, and so you can get a little bit more energy. But also at the same time, you're in a deficit. Everybody loses a little strength. You lose a little energy. It's why it's not that fun being in a deficit and slicing and dicing, but that kind of goes with it. But like Johnny says, and Johnny saved me on this last cut. Well, it was the misses actually that saved me because I was asked. I did my blood work, went in and said, "How you feeling?" I go, "Like shit," but that goes with the territory. I'm dieting. I'm very hard when I'm precise. And she goes, "Well, let's get you on this." And that's when I started. The EAs, the Hercules, the whole gambit of peptides, and with the fat burners, and it's like. Saved me.
ECAs, man, they're second to none. I think that's what most people take. It's a little capsule, so it's not an injection. It's very easy and simple for somebody to do. So somebody that wants weight loss, sometimes that's where they start because, like I said, it's good for even if you were to say like, because I got some people in the office. I'm like, listen, you can't do this. They're drinking like 3 Monsters, those tall cans in front of me. And those things got like 300 milligrams of caffeine in them per can. I'm like, man, you're taking 900 milligrams. You know what the daily dose is? Like with the tolerance, it's supposed to be 400 milligrams. That's what the daily dose for a body is usually supposed to be. Now, if you're a little bit overweight or whatever, you weigh a little bit more, maybe you need a little more kick. But if you can not take in that much caffeine, that's better for you. I mean, for real.
Johnny, we're looking for a winner here to finish off today.
All right. I'm approaching 40, work 60 hours a week in concrete. I lift 4 times a week, anything to help with recovery. My recovery is taking longer these days. So if you're approaching 40, we always go back to the blood test to see where those levels are at. Listen, at that point, if your recovery is sucking, one, you might need to recover better. My sleep might need to be better. Some things might need to be better there, but we need to check. We need to check that first. But other things that we could do, recovery, BPC, TB500, even Hercules Potion with injectable glutamine. This could help with recovering faster. But if it's taking longer than usual, then that could possibly mean that there might be something off on the inside, like testosterone possibly. And at this point, if it is low or it's on the lower end, you're not going to recover as fast. And if you get that optimal, you're going to recover faster. That's just what it is.
I'm just curious on what kind of you must own the construction company. This guy's working 12-hour days.
There's people out there that do. Union workers and stuff like that, 12-hour shifts.
Holy sheesh, man.
2 shifts.
Man.
That's like nurses. Nurses in the hospital, they work 12-hour shifts.
Yeah, but that's not that's not concrete. That's holy sheesh.
I know that's
this is a different world here. I know some guys that do Amazon trucking, the packaging, just the packaging. These guys are burning 7,000 calories a day, and the guy's 140 pounds. It's like,
wow,
you can't eat to recover. So, 2 things here is that you are 40, and so you've already done your blood work. I guarantee that. You're not going to not do that just to see where your body's at. And so from that numbers, I would talk to your provider over at Titan Medical on what to optimize your body. Because there's no way you're doing 60 hours a week at 40 years old and just keep tanking it. I mean, I can't fathom the recovery. I don't do that kind of work, and it's hard for me to recover. So, yeah, get over that.
Doing concrete and lifting 4 times a week.
Get off the line right now. Go call Titan Medical. The number's right there, and get that order in to get your blood work right now. Tell them Titan sent you.
Yes.
Give you a deal, Johnny. Give this guy a deal right here, Danny.
Yeah, listen, Danny boy. If you sign up, tell him it's $130 for you. We'll give you the deal.
Tell them Titan Michael O'Hearn sent you over there. Get that going right this second. I want to hear what your levels are and hear what the next step is.
Yes.
All right. Go crush it, my man. Thanks for hanging today. And everybody, thanks for hanging out with me, Johnny, and Raw Dog Red. Have a great Thanksgiving. Johnny, I'll talk to you more. Did you get the video up?
We ready to show the people?
Yeah, I'm ready to show the people. I'd like to leave the people with this bad boy right here. I just want to show you.
Titan Cybertruck. That blue light. Ooh. Super dope. You can change those colors any color you want. It's gonna look mean on the streets. Blessed. Things like a spaceship rolling.
Awesome. Thank you for hanging out today, Johnny.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
We'll talk soon.
Talk to you later.